in place by JT into the missed impale. Nico, he's very healthy. Kaka not so much. Looks like he'll be chased down. Likely will be called here.
Oh, they failed the call.
Yeah, they missed it, but they kill him in the end, I believe. As AA is taken out, Wraith King, that's the first ult into the RP. Juggernaut still alive. Gets off the blade here at the last moment. Doing a really good job of kiting all this damage. And Palace is going to be taken out in quick succession, but it's going to be a trade. They do get the Juggernaut yet again.
That was a little bit bizarre to watch relative to the crispness of the rest of the game. There were so many things missed there.
Nyx lived, actually.
Yeah, Nyx lived. Nyx completely whiffed the stun on the back wall. A little bit of miscommunication for both teams. Got a little bit messy.
It was Kale, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. A lot of lag. Somehow.
I mean, there's no LAN mode, technically. Right?
Technically, you're right.
Which is kind of weird, but hasn't been a problem, so that is perfectly fine.
That would have been really great for IG if Flyfly had lived, but he did end up going down just barely in the end.
What do you think of this puck build, by the way?
I think it's really, really good.
I mean, this seems to be like the pretty much the standard,
It's
right?
the go-to, yeah.
Witchblade into Kaya Sange.
Yeah, the first two items are pretty much the norm, right? You usually go Blink into Witchblade or the other way around, and then you will see either Kaya Sange or some rare occasions BKB. If it's like a really bad, you could argue for BKB here, right? You're against Disruptor Nyx. It wouldn't be a bad choice, I think. Sometimes you will see Yules, sometimes you will see Lincolns, depending on the game. Kaya Sange is an all-round item. It gives you more damage and it gives you that status resistance that it can be very, very nice against these stuns, but it doesn't help against Static Storm. So if he does get caught in this with a Kaya Sange, yeah, it's great. You have that status resist. It does nothing really. So he will have to play around that. All in all, I honestly really like BKB as a choice because it means he limits his problems to literally one, which is RP. He could ignore everything else when he goes in, play with a lot of freedom, and not get counterplayed. I think other players would go, oh, he's
Kaka with the Impale. Doesn't bottom with the Vendetta just to make sure that he gets into a Static Storm. AA Blast is coming. Looks like Axe will fall in addition. So 2-0 to start things out. And BDZ looks to be next on the list as Flyfly comes into the fray. This is literally all 5 members of IG. And a triple kill for Emo, so he ensures that he gets the farm yet again, Cinder, and to get that, I mean, he's pretty close to BKB. And this could be a Roche. This could be a pretty big deal.
It really could. They do have the damage here. They have double Iron Shells, Healing Ward. They're good to go.
And this, I feel like this is almost like a steal of Roche because now that Deso's online for Wraith King.
In a way, he's even getting zoned off here by Kaka. Misses the Carapace timing.
Yeah.
He's actually in trouble now.
He might die, but this could be the death of Palos instead. As he gets skewered onto the other side of the map, and his ult is up right now. That'll be death number 1. And now the TP support in the form of it's a great big glimpse back. Looks like they'll find the AA Blast at the very least to take out the Juggernaut yet again. And Super will follow. And the coil applied to the Darkseer. Has Surge in a moment. See if he can get away with just this. Wraithfire Blast will connect into the call. And a nice turnaround for Execration. And this could be their Roche now.
I like from IG one bit. I think sending Nyx up there to scout and just defend against, just get information, I really like that. I thought that's what they were going for. They're going to plant Kaka there. He's going to gather information. He misses the Carapace on Palos' crit, and then I think the call is he needs help. And they walk over, but you got to realize the top tier 1 tower is still up for Radiant. They have 3 heroes respawning after 5 seconds, and you basically just set them up for 4 kills in a Roche. And this was IG's choice. There's so many options there. You can either not send the Nyx up there at all. You can send him up there, and then he messed up. It happens. He dies. And maybe you still get Roche, or you don't go for Roche at all. This was the worst possible outcome IG could have had whatsoever in this.
I'm not sure the exact timing, but it was pretty close to his ult not being back on the Wraith King. I don't know if they were timing. It was like extremely close.
Right.
So, I mean, if they get that kill, maybe it's a different outcome.
Did they even kill him once? They did kill him once?
They kill him once.
They did kill him the once.
Cooldown right now again.
I feel like even if they do that, they don't get the Roche, right? Like, if they kill him off and they trade for Nyx, the defense is there from Execration to hold the Roche. So that's a very big moment in the game we just saw there.
Yeah, Execration, obviously with that Aegis on the Wraith King. And he's going for Basher. Sange into Basher. So, I mean, we talked about this last game, but Sange has been nerfed over and over and over, and it's still being picked up pretty much every game. I'm not sure at what point it just becomes not worth it, but not to be... I mean, it's not just for the stats resist on him, but obviously because of his life steal, it just gets amplified, so it's just a lot of benefits.
What if you lost health every second like Armlet while you carry a Sange? Then I think people would stop picking it up.
Yeah, that's a great nerf. I think he should be on the Ice Frog team.
I think so
We're
too.
gonna see a call. AA Blast is coming.
That is not a
He's gonna
connection.
dodge it, yeah. Perhaps expecting some TPs a little bit earlier. He's gonna get glimpsed back into the kinetic field, and with the BKB, Emo is able to clean them up pretty easily.
Little bit messy here
Yeah.
from both teams. Like IG's mistake at Roche, this was a very optimistic go as well from the Axe, with all these heroes missing in this pretty precarious position next to the tier 2. BDZ gonna look to stop Jugger. Has no TP. So Fly is in an interesting position here. Stranded.
Yeah, and they know he doesn't have a TP. Perhaps they're playing a little bit coy, but at least I assume they know he doesn't have a TP.
If he checked him there, he should be dead now.
Yeah.
I actually think he didn't realize.
Huh. Well, now he's going to show, and
Like, wait a minute.
that's all right. Well, reinforcements have arrived now for IG, so this will be a tier 1 top. I mean, 23 minutes, tier 1 top still available. I mean, the mid tower for Execration is also still there.
Yep.
I mean, what do you think of this build on Wraith King? Sage into Basher. Like, what do you turn the Sage into? Like a halberd for later?
Yeah, you probably get Halberd against Jugger, right? I don't know if you go S and Y. The status resist is pretty good. For Wraith King, it's a bit different than for Puck, right? Because having the status resist, you have the 2 lives, so even if you get Static Stormed on the first life, the
Right.
status resist matters on your second one.
Unless you get a refresher on Disruptor Cinder, and when did you
Absolutely.
think about that?
I did not think about that.
No.
That's because when I play Disruptor, I do never get a refresher.
No, maybe that's your mistake.
That is my
Ever
mistake.
think about that?
My bad. I'll have refresher next game.
Very good. Have you ever seen Disruptor Shard in a game? It's the Thunder Strike
Yes.
on teammates.
Yes, I have.
Is it good?
It's okay. I think it's not great.
I mean, it's like it gives you a speed boost, and I think like attack speed, I want to say.
Yeah,
Temporary.
and it makes the AoE bigger, I think, around you as well, right? So you deal more, like you hit a
It's
larger
kind
area.
of cool. I really like that not to go off on a tangent, but the shards, they've really made like these heroes that have been pigeonholed into a specific type of game style, just change it. Like Dazzle, for example. You can sheep a bunch of illusions, and we talked about Bane last series. I think it just opens up so many different possibilities and versatility for a lot of these heroes. Wraith King, on the other hand, it's just a talent. The no mana for ult. Oh, and you get some skeletons when you ult as well. Whoopee.
Yeah. It wouldn't be on topic for Wraith King to have complexity, right?
That's true.
It's,
But he does have 2 clickables now.
he does.
So
And his third skill is not chance.
that's
So
true.
you can actually
Man,
skill.
what a quality of life. I feel bad for Chaos Knight because he had to take the bullet for that, but because that was literally his skill. They just flip-flopped him. But it feels so nice knowing that you can get a last hit when you're really bad at the game center. I'm sure you can relate. Anyway, Palos is going to be pounding upon this tier 2 bottom lane as Synderen is brooding in the background.
I'm just sad that I'm bad at the game. Just leave me alone.
Well, the truth is, everybody's bad at the game.
I mean, that is actually true. That's why we're all sad together.
Yes, a very sad existence we have in this community.
Oh, damn, this lifesteal is just nutty.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a smoke here from IG. They're going to give up this tower, but then they're going to try to use it to get a backstab, I think. Maybe not. Do they actually not have smokes?
I just realized he has Shard on Wraith King already. Wow. I mean, they have mana burn.
Yeah. He's protecting himself, basically.
Yeah.
Good Ice
To the
Blast.
A blast. Flyfly's gonna pop his Blade Fury. Here comes Emo. That is a big kill onto the Axe to start things up. First slice for Palos about to come out, but he's actually surviving a little bit longer. And there's the coil onto Nyx Assassin. Omni Slash to follow. Flyfly trying to beat down BDZ. Is this finally the RP's reserved just for Puck? Will it be enough? Indeed it will. 3 for 1. They killed the Nyx Assassin to start the fight, but it's gonna cost them 4 of their members. IG. This is such a back and forth.
Yeah, it was very crucial that Fly got off that Omni Slash there. He was about to get coiled, and if he gets coiled there, I think that fight goes... It could easily have gone Execration's way. Like, every fight is very, very close. But getting that Omni Slash off, afterwards he gets off the healing ward, the Ice Blast expires, and they're able to...
I really like that Emo is being super patient with the RPs. So many times you see 1 hero, 2 heroes just go for it. He's going specifically for Puck because they know that they will have a hard time killing him.
RPing Wraith King just sucks, right? Like, it just doesn't feel good to use it on him. I think if he's presented with the option of RPing, say, Act plus Tiny, I think he'll go for it. It's the 2 really key stuns catches that Execration have outside of the Puck. So that could have easily worked too, but...
Ooh, ceremonial robe on Mr. Magnus as well. I don't know if he's going to keep it, but...
It's not bad.
Yeah, seems like a pretty good Magnus item. Well, he gives it up, though. He just loves that bullwhip. I mean, some people have like this ADD in the game where they just have to click something, and bullwhip really good.
That's true.
Neutral item.
And some people just love self-flagellation.
That's okay. I mean, that's an Arkosh gaming thing, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Did you check Arkosh games? Did they have bullwhip in every game they won?
That's a good question. We should look that up.
Yep.
Definitely a very interesting statistic that we'll keep in mind for the future.
Kaka's dead.
Yep, coil into AA Blast. Yoei. Oh, we have a Static Storm in the kinetic field, though. Is this enough to take out the puck? Indeed. The right clicks from Emo. My goodness.
Told you
so
Kaka's
much
dead.
Damage. Yep, you were correct. It only cost them their mid puck, though. It's whatever. Eh. And Emo is the most farmed hero on the map right now.
I think this guy has really impressed just internationally. Like, obviously they won the major, right, and everything, but Emo has, his stock has risen so much in the last, I want to say,
wow,
half a year.
Such a cool build.
This guy is super legit.
Cool
they're gonna find. Oh, this is a problem.
Yeah.
They can actually just run him down.
Yeah, nobody really near. Although TP and Nico with the attempt in the call, 2 heroes there. And we'll get first life suspended. RP being faked out. Nico's gonna be a pretty easy kill to clean up now. And I believe with that, IG is just gonna fall back. But Puck buys back into the game, and that's actually what's predicating this fallback for IG.
Yep. But they can still reset. They have healing wards, so they're nice and healthy. They only lost Disruptor.
Yeah, they still have RP.
They're strong.
They can definitely fight. Wraith King ult's still down, but it is level 3, so it'll be not too long before it's up again.
And I like this from IG, that they play aggressive in the enemy triangle here. It gets 4 against 4. Sure, Axe might have a buyback and TP on the tower, but you have positional advantage. You're still very strong with the RP ready. And up.
They find, and his ult is coming back, though. Not sure if they're timing this. There's the Bloodthorn. Coil to follow, though. And Emo pops the BKB. They're just going to pound upon Paolo. So that's 1 death. It's going to cost Emo his life, though. Now Kaka in a precarious spot, as Paulus is going to come back to life and just beat him down with his stick. That's a stick, by the way, not a sword. It's a new cosmetic. Fly on now on the run.
I'm starting to see a pattern here, Shannon. It's almost like when they go on Wraith King first, next to something that the enemy team can TP on, it is not going well.
I mean, I don't know if it's like missed time, because his ult just came back again. It was like, all these deaths have been like relatively close.
He must have had it for a while there, right?
No. It was like 2 seconds as they were initiating on him. 2 seconds left.
He was level 19. Yeah. It's a 40-second cooldown.
I'm telling you, I literally saw it on my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, you're questioning me?
Yeah, I don't really trust you.
All right, fair enough. I do make up a lot of things, so it's understandable.
Right, if you give me a reason to trust you, I will.
I mean, that fight, that's a 3K comeback.
That's
like half the lead, basically.
It is really big. It almost brings Yoei to his BKB, so we will be seeing that.
He needs that so bad.
He needs it, because once he has this, like, yes, he's getting caught in RP, but the reason that he is... Part of the reason, rather, that he's getting caught in RP is that he has to play around the rest of the heroes, right? If he has this BKB, he can coil the Magnus and just go on the backline, for example, because then he knows that they can't stop him if Magnus... But right now, he's always at risk of being caught by whatever, and the BKB will definitely help out a lot. Just 1K to go. Yeah, honestly... Yeah, still, again, it's kind of a weird game to watch just because both teams have like moments of brilliance. It's a complete facepalm, right? It's very bizarre that you can have this amount of those moments in the same game from both teams. Because
did you say he was finishing BKB on Puck? Because he has an Aeon disc right now.
Wait, did he
switch it up? Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah, he changed his mind.
I mean, I don't dislike this either. I mean, he's getting blown up in like a lot of these fights.
Yeah, so this protects him against the RP. But if he gets RP now, he can just get Static Stormed.
Yeah, true.
So I don't know. This is the best choice.
Yeah. Okay, Axe is gonna jump in. All the pressure behind him. A big RP onto 3.
Oh, no.
Into the Blade Fury, into the Static Storm kinetic field combination. Axe and Tiny buy back into the game. Puck will not have that luxury though. Wraith King, that's the first. I mean, IG is still pretty healthy. Omnislash hasn't even been used yet, but it's going to be used on a lot of the skeletons. Pierre on the background trying to keep IG at bay. I believe that is the... Oh, finally the Omnislash comes out, and Nico's going to take the brunt of the damage. So the Wraith King finally dies. It costs IG nothing. Only cooldowns. And healing up in 12 seconds so they can reset and just push.
The game's actually over, I'm afraid. It might just jump.
Says, all right.
Yep. That's good.
I'm glad we got the voice lines back.
Yeah, they're in trouble. Like, if IG have the read here that there's no buybacks, I think it could go tier 4s. But they might play it safe, take 1 lane of barracks. I still think they should hit some tier 4s to try to force a reaction. You've got healing ward, you've got escape plans.
Yeah, I didn't even realize. So that's why I thought there was 2 Omnislash. It was a Swift Slash originally.
Right.
Like I'm not used to seeing Ags when you don't really have attack speed yet. You know, it's just Manta.
Yeah, he has some
kind of interesting.
And power still helps a lot too,
Yeah,
though.
true.
It's not bad. All right, they're going to play very, very conservatively.
Roche #2.
Yeah, they get the Roche. I think if Roche isn't up, they go for some tier 4 damage. They're like, we'll get the other objective. I can respect this. Like,
all right, we're probably going to see Juggernaut take the shard, okay, which is good. It's very good.
Very, very good.
I would love to see Horn Toss, though. All right, I need to see Horn Toss in my life.
That's why Juggernaut will take this.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So yeah, it gives a bunch of move speed extra for Blip Fury, and you proc attacks on hits, 75% damage or something like that. So very, very strong. Of course, with Scotty, it makes it even more powerful. Typically, you see like a mail shard to help proc extra stuff, but that's more of an early game item. But yeah, very good shard for Juggernaut.
And they can even transition into taking tier 2 off of this because they have the Aegis and Cheese advantage. And Execration are not interested in trying to defend this. Go down.
Yeah, looks like it's working towards an MKB now. Of course, they have Cheese. I mean, the more games we see with just a casual Sange, the more that possibilities that's going to get nerfed again. I feel like it should not be okay to get to late game and just have a Sange. You know what I mean? Like, that shouldn't be good.
Wait, who did you say has it?
Magnus.
Magnus also has one.
Yeah.
But he didn't buy it until now, right? Or did he?
No, he had it earlier.
Had it early.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
it's building AC now, so.
Right.
I mean,
do you know what? People are buying it largely just because it has status resistance, Shannon. And status resistance, a really good stat that everybody loves.
First and foremost, Stern is a big hater on status resist. I personally love it because it makes BKB less good. It means you don't have to buy it literally every game, which I think is terrific for the game personally. But I believe most people will agree with me on this.
Hate is a big word.
It's true.
I have a slight dislike for status resistance.
I don't think that's true. Slight dislike is...
You know what?
You have a slight dislike of me.
It's probably because my perspective is from a support, right? And like, I hate when my spells is the only thing you have as position 5. Like, later on in the game, you maybe have 1 Force Staff and your spells. It sucks when your spells don't even work anymore.
Yeah, but don't... I mean, I know it's not readily... what's the right way? It's like, the spells have been buffed since status resistance was introduced to make up for it. You realize that, right?
Talents definitely help.
And talents, sure.
Yeah.
And the bell amp, and there's all this extra garbage for it.
I don't like this. It's kind of like a swap of where you're being logical and being emotional. So can you please just say, just make some noises?
I want a second Roche in the game.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Of course. Yes, you.
Thank you.
Yep, and you wanted to drop and Beacon.
That sounds great. I mean, hey, you know, something that people were kind of mad about came out that they don't really care about is Scan.
Right.
Like, if you think about it, that is really weird that that's in Dota still. Like, if I think of it, even the name is weird, right?
It's pretty weird.
But it's just, you know, it's one of those things you just get used to. Let's Fly on the doorstep of Execration. Of course, this is a 2-game series for the Wildcard. That skewer going.
That would have been a potentially game-ending skewer. They were not in a position to help Wraith King there at all. Axis top.
Yep.
His teammates were all the way deep in the bait. Good spin into the instant silence from the Mindbreaker.
Yep, that's good stuff. It's a nice little combination.
Puck has kind of compromised his position entirely against Static Storm. Hello?
The Bloodthorn. Yeah, the Static Storm comes into play. And it does proc with a double impale into the Omni Slicer. Probably a Swift Slice roll. It's going to be got the puck, and they know he does not have buyback. And there is the RP onto 2. This should be GG as IG taking this pretty convincingly after kind of a, I want to say, a big back and forth for the first 15-20 minutes.
Right. That is why I didn't like Antisk very much there. At least if you're in that play, right? Like the moment you're in and you're relying on your Antisk to save you, you're in Static Storm. You're just gonna die. Like there's just no save there. If he has a BKB, maybe it's a different story. But
GG!
GG.
It's called apparently. So yeah, IG takes game 1, which, you know, there's some question marks about, you know,
fight with your call, and that's why I liked the pick against the mag, because right when they RP your teammates, there's no way to deal with the whole AoE BKB piercing call that stops them from hitting. And because he was going in first, you were talking about questionable calls on like the mag. It's like, did you really think you were going to kill the mag? And once they don't burst targets, the counter initiation from both sides was insane, and the AoE control from the wall as well as the threat of the RP was just too much to play around. It seemed like.
There was one call on Mad by the tier 2 mid tower that was kind of difficult for me to like understand the reasoning behind, but he probably thought that he had the damage or the follow-up to do it. It just didn't work out for him.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of these fights that happen around the Roche Pit and the Aegis timings.
Yeah.
This is the one where I thought Execration might actually open the game wide up. What opened the game wide open is because both teams struggled with that initial burst. It seemed like the team that went first lost every single fight, or at least most of them. Like right there, you see them going on the Wraith King first. The other fights, we saw the Axe going first that we were talking about. The one where you mentioned the mid-tier 2 tower. And this one ends up being a Roche for Execration, but it just seemed like every fight, like this is the one where they're going on the jug. And once Axe is committed, they just have the counter. But then you also want a ranged hero that doesn't mind being point blank range. Because of the fact that it needed to be close enough to the egg to hit it. So
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team back.
Anything. But if it were a Lina core, which I would like to see, because that's my favorite Lina, I do like the combination with Street Protector.
are you like the data lie building Lina? Like
Data
multiple
lie, multiple data lie. I like 5 data lie Lina.
Okay, 5 data lie. You do have a lot of built-in attack speed.
Yeah, like our pub versus Kunkka, 3
Yeah,
data lie.
that guy really
3
committed to
data
data
lie.
lie.
Yeah. I do like the data.
I don't think we're gonna see that, guys. Call me crazy, but
Data lie.
She's got to be careful because T-Gov's in the back thing. Brian mentioned his pubs.
Alright, we got the Puck ban as the last ban coming out from Execration.
A life stealer ban, like you talked about.
And
Radiant team
Tide's another nice combo
Ancient
breaker.
Deprivation. Ooh, we actually, yeah. AA banned. I almost forgot about that.
They think
Hero.
it's tree 4 then? So, oh, I get that they just have to ban it, I guess, if they're going to...
Especially if they're gonna pick Morph, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, and A is very good against Sunray too. That's something nice about him.
Okay, so they go for the morph. You do want natural manta builders against tree. If you're going to pick a carry, or like, this is nice because it's also a flex pick and potentially go mid. Manta is the item you just have to buy. There's no exceptions against tree. The BKB piercing root from his ultimate, you just manta it off. So the other option is getting a manta and a satanic builder, because now you can, the satanic offers a dispel and Morphling does both those things. And they ban PL themselves on Execration. Usually these illusion mana burn heroes are super annoying for Morphling now that now that attribute shift.
So what is a good answer to the Morphling now?
Magnus.
Looks like they're just taking a page out of IG's book and just going mag
Looks
plus void comes to mind here. Mag faces void. Usually you want melee or ranged heroes with tree though. Is there a ranged hero?
I do like Faceless Void with Lina.
Okay.
Like, I think it's pretty strong, it has its merits. I think, was it IG that played it? Lina Void?
The Luna Void?
The Lina Void.
Lena Void.
It was played at DPC. It actually went quite well. I like Void here.
They're taking their time, actually. Going into their bonus time quite heavily.
About it.
It does make me think the mag is a lane though, because we saw that from Liquid in the EU region a bajillion times. It's incredibly scary.
We got Disruptor back again. Looks like we found Super's most comfortable hero.
It looks like this is the hero he practiced.
I mean, if it works, why not, right? And at some point, maybe if they're forced to ban it, and then they wasted a ban of the Disruptor. So yeah, why not?
I don't think it's nearly as potent this game as it was last game.
I know, no wombo combo, but
yeah, you had the combo, and you also had the one guy that he was obviously supposed to static storm every single fight, that being the Puck, and he did that. But this game, not nearly as straightforward to execute. So I will be much more concerned, especially when the player is a coach who hasn't been playing as much Dota.
Yeah.
Talked about it, hadn't played in like 6 months prior to this event. So with that in mind, it's similar to the Axe's job last game. His job was not straightforward on the Axe, and that's why you see them slip up in the middle of team fights, because those are intense moments. You don't have more than even half a second to think about what you're going to do, and when you know you're going to use it on one guy, okay, you're going to do that correct. But in this case, they could just pick a carry that doesn't really die to Disruptor. Like, you can just pick an early BKB builder. You can pick the Jug if you want. It doesn't scale amazingly versus Morph.
But then at least you got a Jug Mag.
Yeah, you got Jug Mag against Phoenix. Like, that seems fine with me. Maybe they're concerned about lanes. Like, Jug Tree is not exactly like a lane I would be writing home about, but...
I also quite like Disruptor versus Magnus. Like, if you're out of the RP, you can drop the Static Storm, stop him from skewering back.
I did not see the Yue Invoker coming.
That's pretty greedy, because they're already setting up for like a mag combo and then also an Invoker.
So we know it's Alina support now too. I saw that Yue has been playing a lot of Invoker in his pubs, but I thought maybe it could be just for fun, but it looks like they want to bust it out here. There is merit to like Wex Invoker versus Morphling.
Yeah, the mana burn. I mentioned illusion mana burn heroes, and I guess they take it from the mid lane.
He does that job well, but didn't Invoker get nerfed recently?
Yeah, they nerfed his cold snap, like how the intervals in which you get stunned, and then they also nerfed his alacrity buff. So like the alacrity plus empower, these like buff heavy on all in on one guy isn't nearly as good as it used to be. They banned Jug. I would be shocked if they hadn't done that. They probably are going to ban Faceless Void too, since we already mentioned the hero and you also have Invoker in the equation.
This has to be a Lex Invoker, right?
Yeah, almost certainly, because you need somebody to make that space because you got a lot of people to take it.
10 seconds remaining.
You more so need the guy that
Wombo
rotates.
potential with Magnus too. Like maybe we can see some really cool combos coming up. That would be fun.
Yeah, you can start Wex and then inevitably line up your maxed Exort when you get the Ags, like second, third items. So you don't have to like all in Quas Wex in terms of your build. You can just use it for the first 15 minutes of the game.
I like this TA ban because it is a very good TA game.
It is an incredibly good TA game. They have all stuns that you can react to, and that's when I think TA really shines. Is just you have refraction. They pop cold snap on you. You see the mag shockwaving to set you up to get RP'd. You just blink away.
They do have living armor, but whatever. You don't care.
You're actually just giving them Faceless Void.
Why not?
Disruptor's like on paper pretty good against it, but that's still surprising to me.
There's an anti-mage ban coming out too.
5 seconds remaining.
I would have thought that anti-mage was like personally way too greedy and like not the hero they were looking to ban. But I can definitely see its merits like inherently versus Morphling.
They go for the Void.
I think you have to. I think it was kind of just given to them.
Yeah,
Right.
IG knew this. They had to know this was coming, right?
This one
Yeah.
is obvious.
I mean, no offense, but if we see it coming, they're gonna
always
see it
my
coming too.
But they probably like wanted them to pick it. Maybe
Yeah.
they just are confident playing against it.
Yeah,
there.
for sure. All right, let's see one then. Last hero coming out. Is this gonna be an emo morph or fly morph?
I would much rather it be a Nemo morph.
I want the fly.
Oh.
You got it against Invoker. That's a good lane matchup. Lena Mag, please do not put me on morph against that. That's all I'm thinking. But in terms of like whatever their perfect 10th pick is, that's where they'll put it. But
Okay. We got the Void Spirit, so it looks like a fly morph to me.
once again, I'm wrong. What can you do?
Well, the fly morph is so good. It's like legendary, dude. It's like he's like the morph player.
I'm not even going to defend myself here. Not even worth it. Because
You don't need to.
right, I'm wrong. That's how it is.
I mean, you're right all the time, bro. All the time.
I'm not used to my panelists trying to make me feel better. This is making me
You're great. You're like right a lot.
No, the thing about the Morphling pick being third, that they had the bans to protect it, and they were confident on both of their cores. Like they're super strong on Morphling, on Fly as well as Emo. So they clearly wanted this like early jump. They wanted low cooldown jump.
Yeah.
Because they had this Wombo combo team fight from the Mars Phoenix, but other than the arena itself, they didn't really have early playmaking potential. That's what I see coming out. And you have to have that quick pace of the game against this Invoker Void combo. You can't let them stall out the game just waiting to ult you and Cataclysm you off cooldowns.
I would have loved IG's draft if instead of Disruptor, they had maybe like an Abaddon or an Oracle, just like that extra layer of security for the Morphling so he gets RP'd. But I mean, maybe they know something that I don't, you know? This is what works for them.
So, you're going for?
I'll do IG.
IG, yeah? How about you, Brian?
Yeah, I tentatively went for Execration last game. I'm going for Execration like hard this game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I would be very happy if they won.
I think that it would be hype if they win first off, so I'll like emotionally bias against this one.
Yeah.
But also, like, I think that based on the lack of cleanliness we saw in the first game, if one team were to mess up once or twice, it'd be the most costly, it'd be IG.
And you feel like maybe Nico has been set up a little bit more for success on his mag this time around compared to his Axe previous game? We were maybe a little overly harsh, but again, there was a lot of pressure on him. How's he going to do this time?
I think
his job will be easier.
He's much more of a buffer. I think he can afford to actually just go like Greaves pipe kind of items rather than actually building the blink. Like eventually you buy it, but it's not really his job to initiate with the vision from the tree and the chrono from the Faceless Void.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's find out what's going to happen in this game, too. If we're going to have another draw, or if IG will take this first series for them, 2-0. We're heading over to our commentary duo of Synerin and Sunsfan.
Thank you, Shiver. I am now talking instantly because you got very, very angry with me when I did not talk. My name is Sunsfan. Joining me is Synerin. Synerin, are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You sure you're okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Okay,
Everything
ready to
seems
go.
perfectly normal to me.
I'm ready.
This is IG versus Execration game number 2. Of course, IG took game 1 in pretty convincing fashion. We're going to see Super, I believe, on Disruptor again.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not sure how big his hero pool is, but
So far, it's 1.
yeah, so far 1. So
And that's
gotta
enough.
start somewhere.
If your hero doesn't get banned, 1 is enough. If anyone has ever watched Admiral Bulldog stream, that is the proof right there.
Yeah,
and then when your hero starts getting banned, you just start playing 4K unranked. Okay. Let us have a look at the draft.
Man, you like to just rip apart other streamers. Is this in order to try to incite people or entice people to come to your stream?
It's called clout chasing. You'll get it.
Oh,
All right.
that seems like an NA thing.
Let's have a look. So I will respectfully very much disagree with BSJ in this game, because whenever I see lineups like
Sorry, I hate to interrupt. You disrespectfully disagree.
It's not because he's a streamer, okay?
Okay.
That has nothing to do with it. So basically, when I see lineups like Execrations where you have like 4 major AoE ultis, but no natural way of setting it up, I find that a lot of the times you find yourselves in these awkward spots where everyone is waiting for each other and nobody can really go first. You know what I mean? Like you have Overgrowth, RP, Tornado EMP, and Chrono that all kind of want to follow up.
Right.
Who is starting the fight here? Like, we're assuming it's a Quaswex Invoker, right? He went Quas level 1, so I'm guessing that's where we're going with this. But if, like, let's imagine the mid hero was a Dragon Knight, just to give you an example, right? Simple targeted stun starts the fight. The enemy team needs to respond, and that's when your big cavalry can come in with their huge ultis. But right now, the Magnus, that could almost even be a kill. So the Magnus and the Treant and the Void will be looking for the same kind of opportunities, and they'll kind of be falling over each other. That doesn't mean that has to happen. Like, these strategies win. Of course they do. But just in my own experience of watching and playing with these strategies, they miss more often than they hit. So I'm a little bit hesitant to... whereas you look the other way, you have a very simple setup. You have Void Spirit that starts the fight. You have Glimpse to bring people back, and then you have your follow-up with Mars Phoenix. That's a great AoE combo. It's a little bit more straightforward.
So easier to execute.
I think so.
Maybe not reliant on the ults as much.
Right. And that's the other thing. Even if you do pull off the Fight Execration, right? When your spells are on cooldown, your lineup's pretty weak.
Yeah.
Like, you don't bring much to the table except an Invoker. Mag without RP is not that strong. Void without Chrono is not that strong. Treant without Overgrowth is not that strong.
Yep.
So...
Fair enough. We'll see, though. Like you said, any lineup can definitely win.
Absolutely. Like, I'm not saying Execration are just, like, screwed, right? It's not like that at all. I'm just personally biased against these kind of lineups because I feel like their track record just isn't very good.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
We'll see if they can make it work. Yoei is at least off to a pretty good start here in mid. They're going to trade waters, it looks like, and Yoei will have a slight CS advantage. I do believe this is an Invoker-favored matchup. When an Invoker goes Quaswex, you can purge off the Resonant Pulse and trade effectively. And you obviously have the advantage of being a range 2 against melee. That will always be an advantage. So
I'm just happy that Void is back into meta to a degree, at least, because it feels like once they got rid of his original Aghanim Scepter that just reduced the cooldown of his ult, he's had a real hard time coming back into the scene because so much reliance on that ult. But his new Ags, well, it's not that new, but pretty freaking good. The Shard, we see it picked up in NA and pretty much nowhere else. Not sure how good it is, but it's very interesting to say the least. And at a time dilation, it feels like it's just made him at least a better laner, which was kind of his big issue for a long period of time. But I'm really interested to see what kind of itemization they go for Void. Because we've seen, like, Maelstrom, we've seen Battle Fury, we've seen Mask of Man. It's like there's so many different things you can do on the hero.
I think when you're playing with Magnus, you obviously don't go Battle Fury, right? I think Tread's Maelstrom...
You don't like extra cleave, Cinderin?
I think Tread's Mom Maelstrom is really good here. You want to compensate for the fact that your Invoker's playing Quaswex, so his damage in Chrono is not going to be the best. So you kind of need to... You need to create your own destiny.
Oh, Super. In a lot of trouble here. LSA did connect, and yeah, he's resigned to his own death here.
Disruptor Morph, definitely one of the weaker lanes that we've seen today. So can't be too surprised that they are losing to an absolutely bullying support in the position for Lina. This is one of the matches with the great stuns.
No, they have no follow-up, though.
Oh, that was very nicely placed. Bottle refill mid for Emo coming out of Super. And he will also get the top water or bottom, whichever one he wants, since the 2v1 enables him to...
Yeah, but very even in CS, for sure. As Super's just going to deny the water in bottom. Nicely done. So, yeah, Yoei, a little bit annoyed by that. Of course, not going to really be a bottle carrier, but obviously those water runes are always helpful for regen and whatnot. Although they have been nerfed a couple times now, so maybe not as good as they used to be. But
damn, both safe laners are just actually getting crushed this game. Void has 9 CS minute, 420.
That's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
I had a pub game 2 days ago, I think. I played Void and I had 9 CS minute, 420, and I felt like I missed like almost everything. So if he did that this game, that's got to feel really bad, because I felt really bad, and therefore it was really bad.
Great analysis.
Morph is on 14, which is also not great, but it's more than 9.
Thank you, Syndra.
You're welcome.
That's what they pay you the big bucks for.
Oh, nice Fire Spirit. That slows attack speed. That's why he didn't break the cord.
Are we just going to explain everything in very basic detail? As Disruptor dies, he'll be back in 14 seconds, as you can see on the top of your screen.
The enemy team got 171 gold on their Magnus.
And that exclamation point is a deny, by the way, in case you're wondering. So how long? I feel like we're playing a game of chicken here, and I will win.
Is this what it was like doing the Nubis stream?
Yeah, so many years ago. As Palace is in quite a bit of trouble. Pops that wand, has the living armor, so shall survive. Of course, even if he's off to a bad start, you will have the Empower at some point to be able to kind of catch up into the jungle, I would assume. But
he's got 9 CS minute, 5.
Yeah.
Oh, he is just not getting creeps. Like, we were looking at this Morph getting bullied. I haven't seen as much of top lane, but man, they must have been absolutely destroyed for that to be the outcome. That is not good. Despite that, Execration still in a decent position gold-wise. Obviously, they have the 2 kills. Them being the first blood bottom that went, I believe.
Oh, fly.
Close call.
Yeah,
raindrop.
Attribute shift is a lifesaver.
100% dead without the raindrop as well. He's playing on the edge. Yoe.
Yeah, Thunderstrike onto Yoe. One more right click will suffice, but Emo does not have vision right now. There's the tornado into the TP from BDZ, but back Emo goes with that Astral Step. Had another charge. And that is a solo kill for him.
Salt in the wound. He even gets a DD rune top afterwards. So now Invoker is susceptible to getting killed once again.
Oh my, what is that spear? How is he so far away from the tower? All right, Palos. We'll time walk to safety. I'm gonna try to turn this around to JT.
I believe that's what happens when you spear someone and you rebuke them mid-air. That they can kind of like, their motion stops, but the spear still tracks.
Okay.
It makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
Yes, that's physics. Physics in Dota are obviously quite different than the real life Syndra.
Yeah, the trees are infinitely high and Arena has no height.
Yoe comes in to the top lane now, rotation, so they're gonna get a kill on Takaka.
Oh, that's a kill if that hits.
Yeah.
That's spicy.
But I don't know if you noticed, it did not hit, in fact, Syndra. That keeping with the newbie stream here is Fly. Getting pressured again, but the adaptive strike now that he's in full strength mode. Helps get that extra stun. I mean, like in terms of both carries, let's just say they're basically even right now. Both have had a pretty rough time. I know that Palace is having a little bit more, but let's say they're even. Who does that favor? Like, who is it worse on? Because I feel like Void at least has some fallback with the Empower at this point.
I think it's hard to say just like between the 2 heroes, because like for Execration, they have multiple ways of having these big team fight ults, but I think Void is such a crucial part of their damage that they need him to have a better game. You look at the other side and it's easier to imagine the way kills happen, right? With a Morph that's farming in the jungle, you have Mars, Phoenix, Disruptor, Void Spirit, all 4 great skirmishers. They do well in 2v2s, 3v3s, even big scale team fights. And Void's damage is also more item-based, right? Like, Morph can actually do decent damage with just a waveform and an adaptive strike, even if you only have like Treads and a Wraith Band or whatever, you contribute something. Void with no items, it's just like, you're just there. So...
MP, not even needed. So they do find the kill, and there's the first chrono of the game. Do they have enough damage to follow this up, though? Yoe is in range to right-click, and yeah, with a couple bashes, Super not able to deny himself.
Bash is really good when it works every hit.
That's right.
And then you kill heroes.
I mean, the percentage isn't really that low. Right?
No, that was not absurdly lucky, but a little bit. Didn't matter, though. I think it would have died regardless. Yeah. I've noticed something across these games of Execration we've seen now. I think Yoe is very, very good at TPing. A lot of mid players are, it depends on your perspective, right? Some mid heroes obviously don't want to TP, so they don't.
Yeah.
But Yoe is playing these heroes that rotate, and he's very, very quick to do it. Last game we saw it on the Puck, he got 2 or 3 counter kills on the Juggernaut. In this game he's coming top on Invoker to get both a Mars and a Disruptor kill for his team. There's very quick reactions with these.
So tell me this then,
heroes.
If he's going to do that anyway, what's the reason for not going Exort? Because you just get these Sunstrike kills, because you have a lot of setup for it this game, like a lot.
Yeah, but you don't have any tempo then, right? Like, Xord and Booker relies on his team to set him up, like you said, and the setup is reliant on items and levels. Whereas with Quaswex, he can kind of make the moves himself for the team. If you try to imagine the TP top, like let's say he was in Xord there, I don't think this kills happen. Right? He needed to come in with a Tornado EMP for that team.
The smoke has broken. Oh, LSA is going to connect after the skewer comes through. We'll be able to find the lean pretty easily as Fly pretty low HP, but there's the RP onto 2. Palos, of course, does not have Chronosphere. I don't know if they can take Fly out. And in fact, they're just going to have to run. But Emo, I believe he's building a Midas still. What do you think of this?
Interesting.
I don't know if I've ever seen a Midas on Void Spear before.
No, me neither. This, I know I'm really biased toward the Ags on this hero. I just think it's that good, but
I mean, he'll still get it probably.
Probably. I wonder if the reasoning is, okay, they have so much team fight that breaking high ground is going to be a...
Uh-oh.
He's fine.
Yep, dissimulate. Oh, can't get to the high ground though. We'll have to use an Astral Step.
So, like, if you're playing against a team that has this insane team fight and high ground defense with living armor, maybe their idea is, okay, our pushing power is pretty weak. This is going to be a long game. I'll scale. And the way we take fights and get Roshan is based off of either winning a fight or forcing the enemy team to use their big cooldowns. Yeah. So, like, maybe I feel like every time you make an argument for Midas, you can almost always make an equally good argument against it, and it's kind of just about like team identity and what the plan is. Because you could just as well say, well, why are you buying Midas if the enemy team has big AoE ultis? Why aren't you like trying to punish at every turn that they're on cooldown with a fast tempo item? But if this is the team read on the game, then as long as they're on the same page, I don't really mind. The worst thing is you've cast games like this where go Midas, and then they try to fight all the time. Right. And they just have dead net worth, and they lose to a team that has low cooldown heroes that are just active and ready. And it's just like, why did you buy Midas to go fight non-stop? But it's pretty quiet, right? 3 kills, 11 minutes. Yeah. I'm just going to keep farming.
And what are we looking at for Void's items? What kind of farming item is he going for?
I would reckon it is, let's see, it is going to be first item Diffusal. I mean, you can... It's a classic item against Morphling. You have him power, so you can kind of compensate for the lack of farming. I was still imagining he would go for the Maelstrom, but it's kind of funny how Execration is taking the different route, right? They're like, we have the big team fight and farming line. Great.
Chronosphere,
super
Morphling, LSA, more than enough. I mean, if they can find the avenue, they can do that every time.
Yeah. Come out of fog, get a Chrono out of nowhere. Very nice. But yeah, they're taking more active route with their Void, so maybe again they have the logic that we're going to compensate for our lineup's weakness, where if we all play greedy, then nothing is going to happen. Great.
AT, yeah, Mars Arena did whiff, but the glimpse brings him right back in, and the rebuke is enough. So they're able to kill the tree for the second time, I believe, this game. I mean, both Mars Arenas have been specifically for tree, so maybe not exactly what you're looking for, but better than nothing. And Emo going to be able to dodge that EMP, and has the haste. And of course, the Midas is in his inventory.
Are they trying this? Seriously? Okay. I thought he was going to try to RP from...
All right, skewing out. Bashes continue, but yeah, it feels like a very, very difficult kill. It did force out a TP as well, though.
Glimpse? No, not in range.
Dissimulate back to safety. He's just getting a lot of space with that haste rune now.
Yeah, this is a huge rotation from Execration. They've brought basically all their heroes bot, except Shin, who just respawned, so... They're looking for something big.
Static Storm. The kinetic only connects on one, but this is the only hero that really matters. Yowie looks to be dead, but the egg does fall first into the RP, though. Remember, this is just a Midas. Emo, he's going to be taken out. That's a double kill for BDZ. Nice LSA. And to continue on as Palos will be able to finish off the Disruptor and go. So a 1. At least the Booker got a little bit of XP for that Phoenix kill before he dropped.
Really crucial RP. They have to catch the Void Spirit there, or they lose big time. But does get it off. JT will take the top tower, though. Treant was not able to defend this on his own, so Mars is progressing very nicely, closing in on Blink Dagger, minute 13. It's a pretty good timing when you have Treads and Corrosion.
I mean, he's top net worth.
Yeah, he's very.
That's a little strange. Nice to seeing that all too often.
I think he might also have been top net worth at one point last game on Darkseer. He's having some really good performances so far. He ended the game with, like, what was it? Ags, Refresher, Dagger, and one more item, I think. Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it looks like Emo will be going for first item Yule, so can dispel Cold Snap and whatnot, and obviously set up for his Aether Remnant if he wants to go for the aggressive route. I feel like this Midas is paying off already. Once we get to like 10 more minutes, if the game is even relatively even, it feels like it pays for itself.
That's how the item works, yeah.
Yep, thank you, Synderen. I'm keeping it friendly for the newbies.
That's good.
Okay. Well, I did say 10 minutes, which might be a little too early, actually.
It technically has not paid for itself there, so you're incorrect.
Yeah, true.
Purge would have given you the exact number of seconds, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
All right, that's a dead Tran.
Yep. Mega dead. Emo ends up getting a kill for himself. JT, very little mana to speak of.
Well, this is a very good setup. They know there's no RP. Chrono is obviously available. All right, he's just in there.
Yep, Mars Arena comes up. We've got two heroes stuck inside the kinetic field static storm combination, and Execration just being dominated. Despite Emo going for a Midas, he is still fighting and doing just fine. They're gonna be able to clean up even more, so 4 dead overall. And this is gonna be a tier 1 tower for IG.
That's like a really good example of what I was talking about earlier, right? Like you have this low commitment spell. Void Spirit goes in, he starts something, the enemy team tries to help, and that's where the big Arena, Phoenix, Egg, plus Static Storm comes into play. And Execration can't really do it in the same way. They don't have that. They have Tornado EMP, but no. The thing about a spell like Tornado EMP setup is that it stuns in... You know what I mean when I say it stuns everyone, right?
Yeah.
It kind of just delays the action so both teams can help. Here, when Void Spirit goes in, it's damage. On the mark, goes really fast. And reaction just isn't available. No RP, they just take advantage of that.
The fact that I mean, he's doing exactly what you said you hated. He's fighting with a Midas brown boots. As long as it works, it's fine. Oh, speaking of which, it looks like he's getting saved here by the Phoenix for now. They're going to turn this around on the Apollo. So Time walks all the damage out. Glimpse is there as well. He's in a bit of trouble here. Firefly jumped in, but that's the overgrowth. Palos continue to try to walk this off, but there's a skewer into the RP, onto 2. Palos gets stunned by the Aether Remnant. There's still no kills in this fight. Finally, Phoenix dies. Now Emo, looks like the Adaptive Strike is going to set things up here, as Nico will be the next on the list. So it's a 1-for-1 to start things out. JT takes the Laguna Blade to the face, but just shrugs it off. And somehow only 2 die.
Yeah.
What in the world?
That's pretty crazy. So just to clarify what I said about the Midas, as long as the team is on the same page with how they're going to play it, I don't mind. It's when there's this disconnect where 1 or 2 people go Midas and then they don't like play on the same way in the game. It's very clear that they have a shared understanding of what they're supposed to do. The Midas integral to what is so far? I don't think so. I think he could have had literally anything here and it would have been just as good or better. But this might pay off in a big way later. If
feels like an insurance policy.
Right, and if they can fight regardless, then why not? But you know, the alternative now is that he would almost have eggs. So if he felt like that would be a bigger payoff, he would have obviously.
I mean, this isn't like the Midas of old. This is an 1800 recipe. It's freaking expensive.
It is expensive to buy Midas. It's more than half an eggs to buy a Midas. So.
Yep. IG smoked up, and like you said, they have very low cooldowns, so they can just continue to fight over and over, and they don't even need everything to set things up. So, not sure if they're going to find anything on the
this is
smoke itself here.
It's good movement from Execration. They have a feeling the smoke's coming, and they're playing inside their own war up here.
JP, yeah, he seems to be the beneficiary of the spear.
That is such a minor price to pay there. That's very, very good. It's a great death.
You know, every time we play together, you say that every time I die. Great death.
It's a great death in a different way then.
Okay. Because it just makes you smile?
No, because I traded for literally any hero in the enemy team and then it's good.
Ah, you're such a good friend.
I know, I try.
Anywho, Yoei, level 10, and we didn't really talk about the level discrepancy. What level is Emo right now with that Midas? Because that's also going to pay off.
I think he's sitting on level 13 and a half.
3 level advantage. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Oh, glimpse back after the skewer as Nico actually makes his way out of the kinetic field, but looks like he'll take a tumble here. And Marzer, I mean, that's super low cooldown. They can just continue to fight.
It's this very clear problem, right? Where every time IG want to just look for a pick-off, it feels like, you know, if you see 2 other heroes on the map than the guy you're going on, you feel so safe because they need the whole. They need the whole package to be able to fight. Their ability to take 2v2s, 3v3s on Execration is very limited. So they need to be so careful with how they show heroes lanes and how they push waves out to get information. Now that all their spells are up again, we might see a smoke, so they can try to take the kind of fight that they want. Might wait for Void's BKB though. It's very close, 300. That is a massive item against Radiant. It counters every hero.
I mean, it's good for him to survive, but he's not really doing that much damage yet, obviously.
He's going to get Alacrity though.
Yeah, true.
Level 5 Wex is a lot of attack.
And power. I guess that's a good point.
That's pretty
a lot of buffs.
Yeah.
And living armor, of course, don't forget it.
Absolutely, also gives a lot of damage.
That's right. And that was in the last patch notes in case you guys missed it.
Dude, imagine.
It gives tower damage too, right? That's how it works. We're just changing the way. He doesn't heal anything anymore. It's just all damage based. That'll bring him back.
But they keep the name Treant Protector, but he protects nothing. He's only aggressive.
That's right.
Bottom tower is under
It's kind of like, which hero is it that's completely the opposite in terms of personality of what it actually does in this one, right? I'm just trying to remember which one it is.
Thanks for putting me on the spot, Cinder. I have no idea.
You know this stuff. You talk to Slacks a lot. You know all the
Faceless
lore.
Void, he has a cosmetic that gives him a face. So that's technically the opposite of the theme.
That's kind of true.
I mean, what constitutes having a face anyway? That's the real question. As we see a smoke here from Execration. See if they can set anything up. They're going to get a free kill on Super. There's the Alacrity, just for that last hit there, if you will.
That's something.
Yeah.
They also protect the Roche area with this move. They're obviously a little bit paranoid that Morph could be doing this with a Morbid Mask. Does he have one of those? He does indeed. Morbid Mask Manta.
I mean, that feels like it would be very risky for IG. I mean, that's the one thing that the Execration has, is they have this crazy team fight if you're grouped up in Roche Pit.
Right, but that's kind of the thing. How risky is it if it's just Morph?
If it's just Morph? Yeah.
If it's just, he probably can't solo it entirely without Solar Crest, but like if you can place Morph plus, let's say, I don't know, Morph Mars with Bulwark, and you have a buyback, I don't know, I think they could maybe still go for it, but like you said, it is risky, and I think IG are fine with the state of the game regardless. They don't need the Roche, they just need to force Execration to move as a unit, and then they're going to out-farm them.
So talk to me about Morphling. I'm guessing there's not going to be an Aghanim Scepter this game. I mean, is there anything, like, I guess even, I'm not sure if I've seen Lina, but it feels like the Fiery Soul after using the spells could have decent synergy with.
You need to remain Lina to have the Fiery Soul.
Oh, it doesn't?
I think so. I don't think
really?
I don't think they carry over. I could be wrong on that.
No, Kaka's going to be caught off. Oh, Static Storm is there, and the egg will be used in addition. So it's going to stun up Nico. No, he's going to just skewer out. So, I mean, that's a decent ultimate.
This has to be go time for Execration. That's two ults down.
That's two big ults down right now.
You need to go. Yeah, I like this. Just go on. Go up there. Kaka has no dive.
Yep, time dilation's there. There's a Chronosphere onto 2. He's attacking extremely slow thanks to that Fire Spirit, but he's going to be able to take out the Phoenix regardless. He's going to buy back into the game immediately, as Super just getting right-clicked down by Palos, who pops that BKB. And in the meantime, BDZ does get out to the Luna Blade. Firefly getting extremely low, but will live through the engagement here. Gets LSA'd again into the RP, into the Skewer, into Mars Arena as well. But it looks like Execration are just falling apart. Invoker and Treant die. It cost a buyback from IG, but as long as you don't get team wiped into a Roche, that's kind of the big turning point. So they're going to chase down BDZ now. And can he Roche now is the question. I mean, all the big ults are down.
Maybe a little bit too low on resources right now to be able to pull that off, but yeah. That looked pretty promising for Execration. It was a good chrono. I don't know if... You really don't want to BKB there as Palos, right? To get off the Fire Spirit. Like, the attack speed slow is just a big problem. Okay. That is...
Just trading spells here. Emo takes off the time dilation.
He's actually in trouble.
I'm not sure if he has any spells to use, and yeah.
Nice cat.
Down he goes.
Bonus kill.
And Jade... I mean, that's a save your friend syndrome right there.
That just literally made it all worth it. If Execration also get Roche now, this is huge.
They do have buyback on Emo, but...
It's kind of similar to the last game. Just a little bit of slip up.
Yeah. I mean, that looked like kind of overconfidence, if nothing else, maybe. Tough to say, though. I mean, this Roche is not super fast, so... You still have a decent... I mean, 26 seconds, can they kill it?
Fire Spirits are really good here.
Yeah. No, there's the Alacrity, finally. This will speed things up a bit. Oh my.
No bye.
All right, Kaka just explodes, and I think that will make the decision for Emo a little bit easier. I mean, only 10 seconds left, but...
That's Roche.
Execration, first Roshan. Oh, I forgot that high fives are back in the game. Oh, praise Gaben. Thank goodness. Love this stuff. Nobody's giving me high five, though, so that feels bad. Do you give me high five, Syndra?
Depends what you did.
Just me existing isn't enough.
I'll think about it.
Okay, thank you. All right, so 5 minutes with that Aegis. That'll buy a little bit extra time for Execration. When we talk about like they're down, I don't know. Does it feel like they're down to you right now, Execration?
No, not anymore.
I mean, I know that net worth is pretty even, but it feels like that you heavily favor the draft of IG, and based on the last game and the overall perceptions, we feel like IG is probably the better team.
Yeah, but this last two Mets really gifted a lot to Execration, and once you get to late game with this kind of lineup, it's when the weaknesses of having these big ultimates can fade a little bit, because you can compensate with itemization, right? You can start buying Hex.
Oh my.
So you have a low commitment engage, you start having talents that give you cooldown reduction or whatever it is.
Yep.
So in many ways, Execration have got over one of the hardest hurdles, and getting the first Roche is a huge boon to them as well. So I think they're in a pretty good spot. I wouldn't say they're far ahead. Like, a lot of the time you'd be like, wow, this is a late game Void with Empower and an Invoker. Like, how can they possibly lose? But they're playing against mobile heroes. Their spells can whiff. There's buybacks in play. So I wouldn't call it in the bag just yet for Execration, but definitely,
yeah,
they're in a good spot.
Well, Palace is definitely starting to get up there in net worth. First overall for the game, but I think the issue with like the cores from IG side is the top 3 next heroes are on their team. So. Yeah. That's going to be, in all likelihood, a lot more impact. Like, Invoker feels like he's dropping off a bit. I'm not sure, like, what the comeback meant. I mean, the ult for Invoker Midas, right, as a first item, not as common anymore. I mean, it depends on the build, probably, right?
Mm-hmm. If you go Crosswex, it's not that common to go Midas first in general. It's kind of counterintuitive. If you want to play the active role where you're really making moves on Invoke, the items pay off big time compared to a Midas if you play Crosswex. For the Witchblade, which is a very common thing right now on Crosswex Invoker, because it exactly lines up with that playstyle, and now he's got the BKB completed. It's going to help him a lot, especially against, actually, ironically, it's going to help him against Void, because he's getting time dilated by the Morph every fight.
Yeah, true.
And he needs a way of solving that. It also protects him against the E-Blade of Morphling himself in his natural form, and, well, it protects him against all of Radiant's heroes, basically. But those are like just some of the really big upsides.
Yeah, Execration doing exactly what they need to do with this Aegis, just bulldoze these tier 2 towers. They got the one top, they're getting the one mid. See if they go for the one bottom next. That's exactly the order that you'd like to see, Cinderin. And they'll actually just get this for free. So IG does not fight. Palos does have the Scotty now, so...
Are they going to force high ground here?
I mean, if they win a big team fight in IG's base, they could potentially just get a couple racks here. I mean, they can't get bottom without that tier 2, but this is already half HP. There's the skewer, or the spear, I should say, into the tower. They're going to take out this Aegis. Absolutely. He tries to get up the time walk, but a little miscommunication there from... No save coming, and there's a static into the kinetic field. He gets it as it BKB. Chronosphere onto 3, Sunstrike to fall. They take out the Disruptor immediately. There's a huge RP onto 2. Skewer back in. Morphling dead. Buys back into the game. And there's the Marjorie to keep everybody in tow. JT trying to kite his way. Drops very awkwardly there. As Execration is winning this fight big time. Buyback on the Morphling though, so Execration needs to be very careful. Invoker finally dies. And again, this alacrity onto Palos is doing Yep, starting to attribute shift a little bit. Gets the Yules off. There's a skewer again. This will be a dieback onto Super. Goes down very easily. And the Eclipse commits. Flyfly to go center himself. And the chase continues. They're just killing heroes one by one with very little retribution to follow. Emo finally getting a return kill. He's just going to get skewered again. I believe that Magnus has that skewer talent. He feels like he's skewering every 10 seconds. Be shocked if he doesn't have that 15 talent. That is crazy.
Nico's been playing a really good game.
He has been owning.
Like he got some criticism from the panel after the last game. I think it's deserved. Like I also think it was a hard game for him, but he made a couple of questionable decisions on Axe. He also made a really big play, if you remember. But he's been really good this game. A lot of these skewers are setting up for a lot of success. He gets that 2-man RP that forces the buyback out of the Morphling. And even though the gold might look similar to before, these buybacks being on cooldown is a really big deal, because that is the one solution you have to this big AoE combo that Execration has, is if you have second lives. They're not available next time.
I'm not sure if Emo ags for that last fight, because I know most of the components were on the courier that was dead. So that delayed it by a couple minutes. That could have, not sure if he had that for that last fight, but either way. Finally gets the ags, which you talked about, like, you get Yules into ag, that's pretty common, but it was delayed because of the Midas, and obviously if it's going to go late game, it pays off, but I mean, Execration showing up big time now.
Also worth highlighting how they killed the Morph the first time, by the way. Really cool. The Void. Yeah. The Void kill in the Radiant base from IG was top tier. Super good execution of spell casting, like clear game plan. Blink, Mars Spear, Sunray, then we're going to follow up with the Remnant and the E-Blade. So nicely done. They get a pick on Lina. It's not the biggest kill in the world, but gives them a little bit of space to breathe. You see that very heavy warding around the bottom half of the map. Probably going to see IG kind of set up a house down there instead of venturing too much in the top half. That would be pretty dangerous without any vision. I bet they want to, though. Like, they know there's some cooldowns here. RP is up, but Chrono's still down. But
man, look at Mars. My good, he's working on a heart now. I'm not used to Mars being this freaking. I feel like they drop, at least in NA. Maybe that's just a regional. Feels like they just feed horribly after the 15-minute mark. But he's very tanky right now. He actually blinks out of the grasp here.
Yep. He got ghost walked on as well. Realized something was up. Backed out.
And Emo now level 20, went for Boots of Trust, so even more like, kind of greedy items, feels like.
He is really... He's making it as mechanical heavy on himself as possible. They do good kill here.
Oh my. Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah, Miko has been setting up every fight, it feels like, for Execration. We'll see if they try to back off here, and it looks like they'll be successful, so won't need to buy back for some impending team fight. But anyway, as Morphling, who do you want to turn into this game?
Having a second spear isn't too bad. Kinetic field is decent glimpse. Phoenix is also a good form, so you can wave form and Icarus dive.
So when you have...
But he's not going Axe, is he?
No.
No.
So it has to be an enemy.
Yeah, so it's just turn into Void as usual, I think.
Yeah. All right, Kaka. He's going to use off the time dilation and...
He's dead.
Oh!
That was really poorly timed. He's still gonna die, though.
And he's definitely dead. That was an interesting death animation.
That Sunstrike was literally a second off.
Yeah. A full second?
Yeah, I think so. It was very, very late.
I mean, he's a Quas Wex, okay? He's not, that's why he's not going the Sunstrike build.
Yeah. He's a Master Tier Invoker, but not a Master.
He only plays one of the two. He's a binary Invoker for sure. But, I mean, once you get to a certain level, like you get the Cataclysm online with all these teams, like that feels like that's an enormous power spike.
Absolutely. Like the game right now very much depends on for IG killing Void, I think. Like if you don't catch the Void, or even if you...
He's actually going Axe now.
Yeah, okay. I think that's a good choice. Like, imagine you don't catch Void and he gets any 2-hero chrono, it just kills. Like, you're playing without save, which was something FA pointed out on the panel. You're playing into this like huge AoE combo late game stuff with a hard lockdown in RP and chrono, and you don't have anything to save your cores. You have no Oracle, you have no Abaddon Shield, you have no Allgrave even, like whatever it would be. So
we have a shard on Faceless Void, by the way.
Oh. He bought it.
He purchased it. This is an Eternal Enemy special. Of course, the difference is Envy goes Manta into Shard immediately.
Yep. Envy also isn't playing here.
Yes, that is true.
That's another difference.
He's just popularized it, or he's trying to at least. So for those that don't know,
I'm so mean today.
It gives you 400 extra range on your time walk, and then it gives you this little ability to time walk backwards for a second and a half after time walking originally. But you do not get any procs from your Ags if you were to get it, and you do not get any HP manipulation.
Right.
So it feels like a really weird shard. And I'm jump in here. You get silence thanks to that Ags from Emo. There's the Mars ult onto 3 heroes, but very little follow-up. They're going to focus on the egg, and they will get it successfully. Paulus pops that BKB to help him out there. Buyback now into the Phoenix, of course, with no egg to work with. Looks like Execration's going to back as a Treant buys back now. Laguna Blade applied to Super. He'll die awkwardly to the minions from Mr. Invoker himself. Oh, Paulus with the Chronosphere. It's only onto 1, but it's a Morphling. It's the only hero that matters, and that is dead Morphling, thanks to the Cataclysm to follow up. No buyback. 5 versus 3. He looks to be next on the list. If they can get this, they can potentially get multiple racks, and they will do full layering. He does have buyback on Emo, but he can't really do anything by himself.
This is minimum 1 lane if they can just push the waves in. Mars is doing his best here. He's going to try to keep cutting. If JT kills this wave, that is really big, actually.
Yeah. There is a wave top, though.
Yeah, it takes a bit of time to connect, though. This is going to buy them some time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Void Spirit is going to buy back and try to cut it. So now the challenge here is to try to catch this Void when he tries to kill the wave. If they have any sort of Yule's perfect timing stun coming in, or a good tornado catch, or...
RP, this will be a dieback into the LSA as well, but the glimpse will get Void the hell out of there. But there's the Mars ult on top of this. Emo pops the Dissimulate, still inside the Mars ult. Astral steps to the side here, but not able to really do much with it. JT getting chased now by Paulo, so they do find the die or the kill onto Emo. So that is a die back, and that probably will be GG. And Execration, it feels like the last 10 minutes they just turned it on and boom, they just win the game.
Remember at the start of the game when I said BSJ is just so right? They're gonna.
Yeah,
own
you
this
were
game.
complimenting him and other streamers,
Yeah,
I believe.
I was like, BSJ, he knows what's up. He knows this big team fight combo is gonna win. In all fairness, though, I feel like we really saw both the weakness and the strength of this kind of lineup. You saw how they were struggling in